from Arizona and New Mexico while living in Elephant Butte, approximately 7 miles north of Truth or Consequences. Ray soundproofed a truck trailer which he called his toy box and equipped it with items used for sexual torture. He would kidnap between 5 and 6 girls a year, holding each of them captive for around 3 to 4 months. During this period, he would sexually abuse his victims, sometimes involving his dog or his wife, who participated willingly in her husband's crimes, and often torture them with surgical instruments. Then, Ray would either kill his victims or choke them with a drug in an attempt to erase their memories of what had happened before abandoning them by the side of the road. During his childhood, Ray and his younger sister Peggy lived with their disciplinary grandfather, who was sporadically visited by his violent alcoholic father, who would supply him with magazines depicting sadomasochistic, that's how it's pronounced, pornography. At Mountaineer High School in Mountaineer, New Mexico, he was also bullied by his peers for his shyness around girls. His sexual fantasies of raping, torturing, and even murdering women developed during his teenage years. Around this time, his sister discovered his sadomasochistic drawings as well as pornographic photographs of bondage acts. After completing high school, he received an honorable discharge from the U.S. Army, where his service also included work as a general mechanic. Ray was divorced 4 times and had 2 children, including his accomplice, daughter Jessie Ray, born Glenda Jean Ray. Ray sexually tortured and presumably killed his victims using whips, chains, pulleys, straps, clamps, leg spreader bars, surgical blades, electric shock machines and saws. It is thought that he terrorized many women with these tools for many years while living in New Mexico with the help of accomplices, some of whom are alleged to have been several of the women he was dating. Inside the torture room, along with numerous sex toys, torture implements, syringes, and detailed diagrams showing ways of inflicting pain, there was a homemade electrical generator which was used for torture. A mirror was mounted in the ceiling above the obstetric table to which he strapped his victims. Ray also put his victims in wooden contraptions that bent them over and immobilized them, while he had his dogs and sometimes other friends rape them. That's just so sick. I mean, people who bring animals into these stories just really get to me, you know. police Cindy Hendy had left the keys on a nearby table before going to another room to speak to someone on the telephone. After Vigil got the keys, Hendy noticed Vigil's attempt to escape and a fight ensued. During the struggle, Hendy broke a lamp on the survivor's head, but Vigil unlocked her chains and stabbed Hendy in the neck with an ice pick. Hendy fell to the floor and Vigil escaped. She fled while wearing only an iron slave collar and padlocked chains. She ran down the road seeking help, which she got from a nearby homeowner who took her in, comforted her and called the police. Her escape led officials to the trailer and instigated the capture of Ray and his accomplices. Police stopped Ray and Hendy and Ray was taken to jail. After the publicity surrounding the arrest, another victim, Angelica Montano, came forward. She told a similar story and said that she had reported the incident to police, but there had been no follow-up. Ray had a video of another victim, Kelly Garrett, also called Kelly Van Cleave, which dated from 1996. Garrett ultimately was found in Colorado alive after police identified a tattoo on her ankle. She later testified that she had gotten it in a fight with her husband and decided to spend the night playing pool with friends. On July 24, 1996, Ray's daughter Jessie, who knew Garrett, took her to the Blue Water Saloon in Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, and chugged the beer she was drinking. Garrett had walked to the parking lot when she suffered a blow from behind which knocked her unconscious. Ray took her to his trailer and attached a dog collar and leash to her neck. Garrett awoke but blacked out several times during 2 days of torture and drugging. During this time, Ray noticed that she was breathing and slashed her throat open. Thinking that he had killed her, Ray dumped her beside a road near Cabello. She was later treated for her injuries at a local clinic. Neither her husband nor the police believed her story. Her husband believed she had been cheating on him the night she was attacked. He sued for divorce and Garrett moved to Colorado. She was later interviewed on cold case files about her ordeal. 2 other accomplices were uncovered by investigations. Glenda Jean, which is Jessie, Ray's daughter, and Denise Yanis. in the